Yes, hello everyone. This is Ayiri Ruth Francisca, just like it has been put there. I'm going to talk about how a program runs. This is especially like the operating system, just how a program runs. Then, in this, I'm going to give a sample program and talk about how the services the operating system is providing to support the execution of that program. So the sample program, it is a simple program that opens a file. That file name is text.txt. So this program, it is going to write to the file. After writing to the file, then it will read the contents of that file. So the services the operating system is providing to support the execution of the program, one of them is file system service. So the operating system is going to provide this. This is especially in creating, opening, reading, writing, and closing the file. All this is going to be done by the file system service, which is aided by the operating system. So when you're going to create that file, remember in that piece of code, it is going to create that file in a specific location. After creating it, it is going to open it. Then when it opens, it will be saved somewhere. And so after it will read the contents. Of course, when it opens it, it will be empty. Then it will write to it. After writing, then it will read whatever is in that and then close the files. So all this is aided by the file system service. Then the next we have exception handling. Exception handling is all about error handling. So in that piece of code, it is wrapped in a try except block. So this try except block catches and handles exceptions. One of them is file not found. Sometimes you try to execute your code, but it shows file not found. There can be issues with the directory of that specific file. So that exception handling will catch that error and give you an output, file not found. That is the exception handling I'm talking of. So, and this is aided by the operating system. Next we have the input-output services. So this handles reading and writing operations. When you're going to read and write, whatever those operations of reading and writing are all being aided by the input and output service of the operating system. So it will write and read and write operations to the file. So the program uses this to read and write all those operations. It is the input and output services that are aiding in that. Next we have resource management. We are saying in this code the program uses the with statement. So in that code you find some statement called with. They say with this, do this. With this, that. So all that, it is resource management that is aiding in that, like that service of the operating system that is automatically to close the file after it is needed. So all that is the services the operating system is providing to support the execution of the program. So the next thing I want us to look at is a sample experiment. Like I explained, that piece of code is writing and reading from a file. So I'm still going to use that same experiment, but in different way. So that code, I decided to execute it. It executed, of course. If it brings out an output, if it is successfully going to write to it, then it brings file has been successfully written. So then again, I decided to go and open where the file is saved to see the content. So when you open that same file, you realize it takes time to load. Like the graphical user interface, it takes time to load. So what we have to observe here, what changes take place, like the output, are they the same, are they different, how much time it takes. That is the experiment we are trying to carry out. So, and in this experiment, you find I used Visual Studio to come up with that program. So when I execute it in Visual Studio command line interface, it automatically successfully gives out an output. But when I open it in that file folder, the graphical user interface file folder, you find it takes time to load. Now the question is, why does it take so much time to load? Yet the other side, it takes lesser time to load. One of the reasons could be, here we are saying this could be due to the text file, which is the text.txt, needed to load resources and establish connections with various system services. So there, when you're opening it in the file folder, it loads a lot of resources. It needs resources to load. So that time it is taking to load, you find it is loading resources to establish connections. That's why it delays. The next reason is also due to the graphics processing. So you find when you open it in the folder, the graphics, like the formattings, each and everything, all that takes that time. That's why it delays. We are saying due to graphics processing in that graphical user interface applications need to render the text file contents on the screen, which involves additional processing. So this additional processing is what makes it to delay compared to the one opened in the Virtual Studio command line interface. But we are saying it took much less than it could because no much formatting is contained in this file. So you find this file, I opened it in the folder. What if I could have programmed it in a way that it is like it displays maybe on a, like I can say on Google, it opens that same file where it allows you to input all that, not from the command line interface. So you find all that could even be much longer because there are so many formattings that are there. I hope you have understood the point I'm trying to bring about the graphics processing. All those formattings, the more the formattings, the more time even it delays. So that is why there is a difference between the two actions that are carried out. Thank you so much.